Before we get started, I want to take just a moment to tell you how you can go deeper with these stories. If you enjoy Dauphin Island Diaries, you can support the show on Patreon. Patreon subscribers get early access to every episode, ad-free listening, and a monthly newsletter. Premium Patreon subscribers also get bonus content, including full-length interviews and behind-the-scenes material. You can find that at patreon.com/Summers Media Enterprises. Now, let's get into the story. Okay, I have Shari Moon with me today. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this in the beginning here because we are actually outdoors doing this. That's a little unusual. We're sitting at a picnic table in Cadillac Square. Benville Boulevard is just over, I'm going to say 150 yards from here. And, oh, by the way, the Coast Guard has been quite active with their choppers going over today. So we may have interruptions. You may hear traffic noise in the background. And, of course, if people end up coming in the park here, there may be activity behind us where you hear that kind of activity going on. So that's what, just by way of explanation, that's what's going on. We're not in a studio doing this. We're actually live on location in the Cadillac Square, right here in the middle of the eastern part of the island, here on Dauphin Island. That's what's really cool. I mean, of course, we're really focused on trying to talk about the history of the island. We're talking not just about the old history, not the Iberville and those kinds of things. We're talking about much more recent history where people who are still alive, the things that they experienced in the past 50s and 60s, especially around the time when the island was being opened up for development, and they built the first bridge, those kinds of things. And so Shari Moon is here with me. Shari, thank you so much for making this time. I know last month we tried to do this and we had some hiccups on that, so we're here. We've got it worked out. We're here, and you've already been talking some really great stories, and it's like I told you before we started, I was wishing I already had the record button pressed because I would have liked to have had all of that captured. So I'm going to probably have to wind you back through some of that.
Yes, thank you, John, for having me. This is my absolute most favorite park in the whole wide world, Cadillac Square. Thank you.
You are welcome. You picked it, so. So, and that's perfect. If it's your favorite place here, then it's a great place for us to do this. You have some really, really cool stories around your family history here, how your parents met here, things about lost jewelry, about family reunions, and I mean there's just I want to say it's the Pope family.
Pope family, yes.
Yeah, you've had just a long
history
here, several decades that we're talking about here. So
yes,
I just want to let you tell your story and tell their story.
Okay, I'm very pleased to be able to do this. I've actually wanted to write a book about my parents' legacy and their love story, and so much of it deals with Dauphin Island. So I'll first start. My dad's name is Jake Pope. My mom is Patricia Sheehy. They actually met as children on the same street. They lived across from Brookley Field, and they met as children.
And for our listeners, that's the Air Force base that was in Mobile.
That's right. My dad lived right across, growing up right across from it. My mom was on Johns Lane, just right up the street. They met young. I believe my mom was around like 6. My dad was 10. He was 4 years older than my mother. And they grew up playing, and then all of a sudden my dad is 15, and he decides he wants to go to the Navy, into the Navy. So he had to kind of lie about his age. Kind of. And he got in, and anyway, served for the 4 years on a ship, the Princeton. And in that time, my mother was in school. She went off to LSU for a year, and she lost her father. So she came back home to help with the younger children, with her mom. And my dad was with his mom one day in the car, and he sees this beautiful girl on a bicycle going to a little store. And he goes, "Mom, who is that?" And his mother said, Jake, that's little Trisha. And he said, well, little Trisha isn't little Trisha anymore. She's grown up. And so a little time goes, and my dad goes to work downtown Mobile at Metzger's, fabulous men's store, clothing. He was a model. I've got a Metzger's catalog right there with my dad modeling.
Wow.
And he was selling in the suit department and all. My mother went downtown, and she worked at the TV station WALA that is still here in Mobile. She was a head secretary there. She met like Tony Bennett. I've got photos with her, Ed Sullivan, and she missed the day that Elvis came through.
Oh, no.
So she was a bit sad about that. But anyway, one day, how they came together as adults, my mother was walking downtown Mobile going to a store, and my father saw her and walked up behind her, and he said, hey, Trisha, where are you going? And she said, oh, I'm going to Lerner's to buy me some black shorts. She said, where are you going? He goes, well, I'm going to Lerner's with you to buy your black shorts. So that actually started their dating. They were married. They were actually on the island. This is where they came. They came and dated here every chance they could get. Sundays they'd go to Fulton Road Church in Mobile, and right afterwards, even in the winter, they would be. I've got photos of them my dad in a suit, and they would come to the island in their dress clothes, casual. They would picnic. They just had the very best time. But to back up, the reason they could come is in 1955, we got our first bridge. So my parents went early, and they were the 25th car in line for the ribbon cutting. And they were still dating. Not too long after that, they got married, and they ended up having 5 of us children in Mobile. I'm the second. But we would come like every Saturday. We would come to this park. They'd have fried chicken, RC colas, moon pies, the traditional Mobile things that we love. And we'd have our picnics. I shared with you earlier the tree behind us. We kids would climb in, and this park was always filled with families, and it was just some of the very best memories. But then we moved. In 1969, my dad took a job in Dallas, Texas. And it was very, very hard because he's from a family of 11 children in Mobile. My mom is from 7. So with that said, we have a huge family, a lot of cousins that we adore, and we still all stay close. It's amazing what a big family. And my dad was always close to his siblings and mom with hers. So it's a really wonderful way to grow up. Yeah. But so in 69, when we moved, we too lived close to Brookley Field Inn off Dauphin Island Parkway. Yes, so in 1969, that's when we did decide that Dad did that we're going to have to move. So it was a very sad thing for all the aunts and uncles and cousins and everything. But my dad made a promise, because my grandmother was still living here, my mom's mom. And he said to all of our relatives, we will be coming back every summer to vacation. And this is how it all began. We did come back every summer. We only missed 2 when Frederic took out the bridge
79.
In 79. So this year will be our 52nd year.
That's
to
awesome.
Actually come back. It started with to vacation. It started with 7 of us, Mom and Dad and the 5 siblings. And we came that year, and last summer we had I think we had over 50 actually. That
That's
now
amazing.
come. We started renting one house, beach house, and now we have oftentimes 4 on the Gulf side and 1 on the bay. And the one on the bay is now all of our 20 and almost 30-year-olds that have grown up coming together. Now those cousins all stay together in that house. And I can't even begin to tell you what that particular week, it's always the 3rd week of June. And my dad would always tell even my daughters and all, he'd say, now kids, when you start to get your job, you're 18 now or after college or whatever age it is, always tell your boss that that 1 week is what you need off. And they did, and all of them, none of them want to ever miss it. We love it so much.
And that's, when those traditions that you develop like that, I mean, what you're talking about is something akin, in some ways, maybe even stronger than, the family always gets together at grandma's house for Christmas or Thanksgiving and that kind of thing. So you're talking the same thing, only it's in the summertime, and, oh, by the way, it's on the beach. It's not over the river and through the woods kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. And my dad yearned for it so much that the last day when we were having to leave, he would always get very, very sad on a Friday, the day before. We finally had to tell him, Dad, don't keep doing that, because when you get sad, it's our last day and we need to all be positive and up. And then on that Saturday, he'd go, okay, family, the countdown starts. We only have 364 more days and we're all back together. That's how much he just loved it. All of us, all of us. Many of us drove in from Virginia, Texas, flying in from Hawaii on a beautiful island, and those kids would always be so sad when they would end up leaving the little island.
To go back to Hawaii. I mean,
Yes.
think about what that means. They're sad leaving to go
Yes.
to Hawaii.
To go to Hawaii. I mean, it always puzzled us a bit, but I know that it's just the fun we had. We would do all sorts of fun things. We came up with like Olympic Day. We would do that on Thursdays. So if anybody got hurt, as we got older and stuff, we'd have a day to recuperate, the next day. But we'd come up with all kinds of ideas. We've got a sister of mine, Jill, and my brother, Brent, that would put it all together, and we just had the best days. That was wonderful. We'd have a night, back in the day, way back, you could actually have a little fire pit on the beach. You cannot do that now, but we would sit around the fire pit, and people would just come up with kind of like seagoing ghost stories. They some could just make up things as they go, and it was just amazingly fun, just wonderful. But to go back, to my parents, I was going to share, when they were dating on the island, we at one time had a very beautiful casino. They called it the casino on the island, on the beach. And there are some older photos that you can find online. But Mom and Dad, when they were dating, they would end up coming to the casino, and it was so beautifully, and it wasn't gambling.
Right, so I was wanting
That's
to
right.
jump in because
Yes.
I knew it was not a gambling casino.
That's right.
So.
It was not gambling. I guess that name of party or fun or whatever casino possibly means. But they would come. They had it so well done that the young people and couples, they would be out on the beach all day having the best time. Then they'd go in, and they had the women's side that had lockers and showers, and then the men's side. Then they would get dressed and then go out to the main room where they'd have a band and fabulous dancing. So that was a big way. One of the hurricanes, and I'm not sure which one, took it out, but as a child, I still remember the foundation, a lot of the bricks, all that. And we had even bigger sand dunes right near that. And I remember as a child, dune buggies. Dune buggies actually were able to teenagers would just be going so fast up over the sand dunes. We're not doing that now to preserve our nature.
Understanding what the significance of that is now.
And the barrier, that it is that we very much need.
Right.
But that was I look back and I think what an amazing way that they got to live and date. And then continue with it, with a lot of children.
One of the things that I've been thinking about, and this is kind of the continuum sort of thing, I've spent a lot of time at the fort. That's kind of one of my favorite places.
Dad too.
You this is
And
your
brothers.
place. This is your place. Mine is Fort Gaines. I love to be in Fort Gaines and going in those tunnels. And the thing was, those things at one point were about filled up with sand. And so
That's right.
Just going through that, it occurred to me, if you were a kid on this island in the 1930s.
Yes.
That was your playground.
Yes, that's right.
And so, so for that generation, having that, of course, then the war came and they took it back over for a time. It was used for anti-submarine warfare. Then in the 50s they started establishing the radar facility down here, and a lot of that got kind of tied up. But you also had those military personnel then for the next 20 years that were doing the things you're talking about. So they kind of created some of the things that you're talking about for the next generation's fun and the continuing. And, of course, the people who were developing the land, the island, when it was being commercialized for real estate.
Yes.
But that continuum.
Yeah.
What do you think, knowing that we're changing some things
on the island?
You know, for people who are listening, there is not a McDonald's on the island.
That's right.
There is
and
not.
Probably won't be.
And it won't be. There's not a Burger King. I mean, there is a Subway, but it's hidden inside a store. So
and you can get pizza in the other gas station.
Right. So you know, those are the only change here on the island.
That's exactly right.
Everything else, and you know, you mentioned briefly a moment ago. Pardon the airplane flying over. They're trying to listen in. They're checking out, seeing what we've got going on down here. So, you know, the Holiday Inn was destroyed in '79, and when Frederic came through, never rebuilt. So there's a little local motel on the island, and that's it. There's some Airbnbs, but you know, understanding the nature, and I think it's a good thing, the protection that the leadership of the island has toward not rampant commercialization
it.
Where it doesn't become, you know, the Vegas Strip.
And that's what we islanders love.
I agree.
That we are quaint, we are charming.
Yes.
The slower pace, like for me, living here now full-time for 6 years, it has been one of the greatest gifts for me because you slow down. You ride your bike like a child. You walk to places. You meet at parks like this with friends and have a picnic. Mm-hmm. It just has brought such a love for nature. So for we islanders, we love preserving it like this.
Indeed.
We love vacationers. We love people coming into the island and just loving on it like we do. But it has been very, very nice. I don't know, it would be hard to live on a small island and it be so commercialized.
Agreed. But, you know, you have the elementary school down on the other end of the island. And what's really cool is that they built it in the style of the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Exactly, and that's where we first met.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So the thing from my perspective, I guess the question I'm asking here is, what do you think is... They're not going to be able to ride dune buggies on the dunes.
No, and that's a good thing.
Right.
We've had to learn some of those things.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
What does the next generation, what's their thing? Because they're not going to crawl through the fort, although they can go visit it. They're not going to crawl through it like it's their playground.
Yes.
They're not going to do the stuff on the beach, not even a little fire on the beach anymore.
Right. And that's fine because there are still so many other things they can do. Mm-hmm. And what I'm learning about the young ones, we have got some of the greatest kids on this island that are elementary, middle school, high school. Mm-hmm. When they hit high school, I know several of them, and it's like I can tell within them too, they love this exact vibe.
They're starting
love
to pick up on it.
They really do. They get the ones that have grown up here or come here with their families like we did. Mm-hmm. Like for us, one of our iconic things on the island is the water tower. Mm-hmm. Right? So we've got a water tower that's been there for many, many years. You know, that was just so iconic to us. We would drive over the fabulous, almost 4-mile bridge to get to Dauphin Island. Our eyes would be just set on that water tower, and the minute we'd see it, it's like your blood pressure goes down. You're happy. It was just absolutely wonderful. So I think those who have been on the island for a long time, or those that come vacation here regular, that's what they love too, is the quaintness, you know. And
well, it's certainly the thing that's drawn me to it because I'm a Tennessee boy.
Yes,
and you know, I've been planning the Tennessee podcast for years.
Yes.
Finally, you know, reached the point where I could do it, and was already starting to put that stuff together. And we came back again last fall, and I was like, this has got a story that's got to be told too.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so grateful you're doing this because it does need to be told. And it's nice to, I know you visited with some of my friends already too, and they've got so many great stories. And it's nice that they just roll on. They just roll on. And yeah, because we'll get to where, with my father, their beautiful story, or I'm going to share a bit of that. Mom and Dad always dreamed of living on the island. So when I've got to go back. When we were living in Texas, my older sister Karen and I, mother was turning 40. Well, Karen and I had our 3 brothers, and we loved it. But we were like, Karen and I were at the kitchen table saying, gosh, it'd be nice if we had a little sister. So at 40 years old, we're sitting, my mom turning 40, Karen and I are at the table, and we said, Mom, she was in the kitchen, Mom, could you and Dad have just one more baby? And my mother looks over smiling because she loved children. And my dad walked in from pumping iron, working out the garage, and he said, what are y'all laughing about? We said, Dad, we want y'all to have just one more baby. And Dad's like, you kids, are you kidding? 5 is more than our share. Well, I now turned 16, and I'm out on a date, and I came back, and Mom said, hey, Shari, come sit down. It's about 3 months later. She goes, we're having a baby. And it was a girl. So we ordered my baby sister. And Jill came along, and we say her feet never touched the ground for 3 years because we constantly wanted to hold her. She was a joy in our life and still is. And because of her, too, part of it is I live on the island because she moved here first.
Wow.
7 years ago. And she was the one that was not born in Mobile. So she moved here first, and then I came to help her unpack. And things in my life started to kind of make a change to where I realized, I could right now live wherever I want to, too. And so then I moved to the island about 3-4 months after she did. But back to my parents. When Jill, when she was born, which was our joy, when she hit 18 and went off to school, my parents thought, you know what, we could do this now. We could buy on the island. So they looked at a house back here, and at the time it was like $87,000. And my dad negotiated with the owner and said, hey, I see that you need a new washer and dryer. If you throw that in, we're buying the house. Well, of course, another bid came in without the washer and dryer, and they took it. So Dad and Mom lost the house. It just sold for $900,000 about 6 months ago.
Wow.
So anyway, so Mom and Dad missed that opportunity, but it stayed with them forever, coming back to live. So when they were actually in their early 80s, we siblings started to kind of ponder that and think, how can we make this happen? So we started really talking to each other, and we thought before they really got to the place where there was no way, we found this little bungalow that they had already seen before, and they thought it was very, very cute. It was for sale, and they'd actually gone through it, and they both loved it. My dad was a sailor. I mentioned that earlier. We walked in, and there was these like a little border that had like ships on it, and I think he just felt the warmth. Mother loved the layout. So it went off the market. Somebody bought it. And then after Jill and I moved here, that house came back on the market, the very one that they had walked into. So we siblings said, we're going to make it happen. So we did. And we got the house all ready for Mom and Dad here. And Dad was 88.
Wow.
Yeah, Dad was 88. Mother was 84. And got them here. Well, some siblings took the Texas side and were working on all that, and Jill and I took this side and getting that all ready. Well, 1 week before my dad, they moved here, he was diagnosed with cancer. So, but you know what Dad told the doctor? He said, Doc, you just let me live on that island and I will be the happiest man in the world. And the doc said yes. So we got him here. he was able to he was fine. Like the first few weeks, matter of fact, when they first walked into the house, I saw my parents holding hands. They couldn't even take it. They went and sat on the couch and both cried.
If you enjoy the way we tell stories here on Dauphin Island Diaries, there's another show you might want to check out, The Tennessee History Nerd. Same approach, different setting. Stories from across the volunteer state, rooted in place and built from the sources up. You can find it wherever you're listening right now. And now, let's get back to our story.
So it was a very sweet, very, very, very sweet time. About not, and Dad went to the VA hospital here in Mobile at Tillman's Corner, and they were just could have been better. They were just wonderful. And about 9 weeks in, he had a fall, and that kind of took him down the road. He was the best patient in the world, and it's kind of cool. God, it's amazing what really happened. He was bedridden for about 3.5, 4 weeks. In the house, he did have to go to the hospital for a week, but then he got to come home. And I'm trying to think of how to say this actually, being the very best patient, God orchestrated the day he died. You know, when the Bible talks about, I know your day, you know, the day you're born and the day you're going to go. Yes. It happened to be the very week of our big vacation.
Oh, wow.
It was the 3rd week of June. So the picture night was a Wednesday night. And of course, my dad couldn't come to that. So his one brother that lives in Mobile that's left of all the 11 children, my Uncle Jerry came and stayed with Dad. We kids, all family, went to get our picture made. And then that was Wednesday. Thursday night, we took turns staying overnight at the house. Thursday night was my night, and I woke up to hospice coming at like 5:40 in the morning to let me know that Dad was passing. And I went in there, and he had already passed, but he got to die on the island in the house. And
with his family there.
And every one of us were around him on picture night. The young ones from Hawaii, the baby, everybody was there on Wednesday night. And I've got a photo that my dad is just in the bed, but he's just smiling. And then Thursday, he didn't really want to eat. We knew he was tired. Woke up that morning, Friday morning. So think about it. Remember how he would always...
It's always sad.
Yes, on the Friday morning. That's the day God just took him. On that day that he loved the family so much that he could, and my mother. I mean, my goodness, my mom is like, and everybody here on the island knows, but she's like one of the sweetest people that you will ever meet. She is. But anyway, so we all got to be here and share, you know, the celebration of life together before they all had to leave.
Right.
You know, and so speaking of the fort, I'll go back. After this happened, it was just incredibly special. Mom and Dad's neighbor, Troy, and I do believe he was a Marine, definitely, you know, veteran. He knew the family story and everything and just what was all going on. He helped us. Dad has a name on a plaque right there by the tower, and he helped us. We got into the fort, since you love the fort so much. Our family was able to go into the fort, and it was just us and my 2 brothers in their uniform. One is Navy, one is Marine. They got to raise the flag, and a cannon was shot off in honor of my dad. So we're just like, Dad had the best send-off, you know, in the world. He wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Yeah, any other way. So, yeah. We miss him like crazy, but we'll see him again. And my mom just turned 90 just 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's on the island. She rides a 3-wheel bike with us. And she's an artist, so she's just in love with just the nature.
And it's here.
It's here. Every sunset is different. Every sunrise, although I don't always catch those, but I catch the sunset.
I haven't caught the sunrise. And my thing normally when I come to the island, I'm down at Pelican Point every sunrise. I haven't been down there a single time because I've been working getting this thing ready.
Oh, gotcha.
Up sometimes midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock rolls around. It's like, I've seen sunrises before. I'll let this one go.
Yes. Well, that's kind of me. I've got a great view from my balcony, but sometimes I've actually just gotten up to see it, and then I'll go back to bed for a little bit. Yeah. But sunsets, people on the island know I chase them. I can just
I'm that way normally, but the sunrises, I actually like the sunrises better than the sunsets because I like the morning mist.
Exactly.
And you know the wild thing when I was here last month when we were trying to get together, I didn't stay on the island that time. I actually stayed with friends up in Theodore, and I drove down one morning and it was so foggy. You could barely see.
Oh, I might know that day.
and
yeah, it's kind
so
of
I was creeping along because I didn't want to take a wrong turn off that bridge going over.
And we have to let everybody know our bridge is extremely unique. My children used to call it the dinosaur bridge. It's flat and then it goes very high over because the first was a drawbridge. And now we have to have the high bridge.
Right, the Gordon Persons Bridge that replaced it, what they just called the Dauphin Island Bridge. It's a big, huge hump that allows boat traffic underneath it. But that morning, I went out of the fog as I went up over the hump. As I was up on top, it was like I was flying in an airplane looking on the clouds.
Wow!
I mean, it was just the Mississippi Sound, the bay, all of it was just blanketed in fog, and I was above it.
That would be something.
And then I went back down into it on the other side. But I think you've seen the video that I posted that morning. That I'm standing down here at Pelican Point, and I'm standing on the shoreline at the pier, and you can't hardly see the end of the pier.
Oh, yes, I have seen days like that. Amazing.
And when you turn,
it's beautiful.
I shot that video. I turned and looked. I mean, normally to your right you can see the gun, the northeast.
The cannon.
Yes, the northeast bastion. You can see the cannon there easily.
Yes.
You couldn't even see it. It was completely shrouded by fog.
Oh boy.
So
that's what I'm saying. The island changes every day.
It's every day.
It's every day.
But the really neat thing is with that, when the sun comes up through and it starts burning through it, it gives it just a unique aura.
The colors.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's just absolutely stunning. It's my favorite time of day. My favorite place on the island. That east end of the island is my favorite part of it.
I love that. Well, you just inspired me to start waking up a little earlier.
But I mean, you get out there. Sometimes you see dolphins.
Yes.
And you can sometimes. I'll say it this way: you can sometimes go up on top of Battery Turret, which is the Endicott improvement that's added outside the fort. That's over next to the ramp side.
Right.
You've got a better vantage point up there.
Oh wow!
So you can see across the bay more.
I love that. Okay, I haven't done. You're saying at sunrise? Okay. Wow. Okay, I would love that. I was going to share something else going back, and I have photos here, but it's kind of hard to just see them on a podcast. Something that also happened that was very bittersweet, very sad, but in 1978, the photo that you saw that's in the Welcome Center of our family, my brothers, and they're coming down when the drawbridge would open to let a ship go through, a barge. It would open up, and then as it's going down, they would sound this very, very loud horn. And that let everybody know, get back to your car, because we could actually get out and walk right up and watch the ship go through, which was wonderful. And then the horn would sound. So I have a photo of my brothers running back to get in the car. This was 1978. Well, the next year, as you know, 1979, Hurricane Frederic came in. So after this photo, this was in June. Well, my brother Eric, he tragically was killed on a motorcycle on the street that we lived on. And he had just turned 16 by 4 days. And actually 3 days. But so that, of course, with our family so close and all, was like horribly sad. But I'll tell you what happened on this island, and it has meant so much to us. And whoever owns this shrimp boat, we want to say a huge thank you to you. But the very next summer when we got to come back, let's see, 79, so it'd been, I guess, 81? The minute we walked into our beach home that we rented, when we rented, the first thing when we walked into the house, all of a sudden the big window was open with the door and all that glass. And we looked out and we saw this huge shrimp boat. That was always one of our favorite things, to just see all the shrimp boats out there. Well, here it comes, this big red shrimp boat. And on the side it said Captain Eric. Yes. So our brother's name, it was just right there. And it was like, oh my goodness, this is a sign of just beauty. And every year when we came back, every year that would happen. We'd see Captain Eric. Now, I think he's maybe retired. I haven't seen him now for about 2 years. But when my sister and I moved here, especially if for some reason we were down or something, like she'd say, you won't believe, I just saw Captain Eric go by. And then one other day it would happen to me, and there's Captain Eric, So we've always just felt his presence, just on the island with us. And he was our big, big bird watcher. He knew every bird as a young boy. I've got photos of him on the deck on the beach with his binoculars at like 14. So that helped my other brothers. They're bird experts, and they just love the birds so much. So coming here has just been amazing. And speaking of brothers, a year and a half ago, my brother that was in the Marines.
Hoorah.
Yeah, hoorah. That's right. He actually moved here with his lovely wife a year and a half ago as my neighbor. So
wow.
They're right by me, and they could not be happier. Yeah.
Good.
So it's Mom, my sister Jill, myself, and my brother and his wife now here, all because of Mom and Dad. That's
kind of where the whole this is the thing I was talking about with the why I wanted to hear, wanted you to share your story.
Yes.
Because I mean well, first of all, when you talk about the time period that your mom and dad were dating here,
yes,
this was a destination for young lovers to.
True.
I mean, Miss Anita's talked about
that
with, their first date was at the
Isle Dauphine.
Yeah, Isle Dauphine.
Yes.
And
country club.
And that, that's also where their reception was held.
Yes.
Or rehearsal, something like that. Something to do with their wedding. It was there. So,
right.
And that's the kind of thing that is,
special.
Yeah, it's special, and that was important. The people in this area. This was that
place,
that destination. Yeah.
And it was quite primitive, many times too. But again, that's what we seem to love. That just the nature and the.
I'll be frank with you. There are times when as much as I love what we've got here with all of this, I would love to have seen it in the 1940s before it was developed.
Yes, me too.
When there wasn't a Bienville Boulevard.
Yes.
I mean, and so, by the way, guys, no kidding, there was livestock on the island. The goat trees were a real thing.
They are a real thing. And certain families that we still have, their lineage has gone down on the island. But we had like maybe 8 families that originated here, coming over here all the time by boat, but they lived on the island. And I'm incredibly grateful for them. One being our mayor, Jeff Collier.
I did not know that.
Oh, yes, born and raised.
Did not know that.
Born and raised.
Okay.
And the Collier family is one of our founding families.
So
Sprinkles, Beausarge, Malins, several others. But yes, our mayor, who is so wonderful, He was born and raised.
I need to.
Talk with Jeff. He would love that.
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Yes, he would so very much love that.
may
Within
have-
our family too, we actually had one of my nieces that got married on the island.
That's awesome.
Yes, during that week, and my another niece.
Oh, that is even better. That was during that particular week.
Yes, that's when they pick it because all the big families there.
About the only thing it could have been was like, yeah, we're going to do this not on that week. We're going to do it in September, so you guys have to have 2 weeks on the island.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, that's a good idea. And a lot like I've got one brother too, Brent, that he and his wife have been doing that, traveling around America in their motorhome.
Oh yeah,
for 5 years.
No kidding.
I kid you not. So they would come here too and go where you're staying too.
Yeah, that campground is awesome.
Campground, and they'd stay like a month at a time.
Right.
So that we very much love that as well.
Yeah,
yes.
my only regret is if you're an RV camper, you can stay there. I think it's up to 3 months at a time.
I think I just heard 6 the other day, and then you have to go.
Right. But if you are a tent camper, you're limited to 7 days.
Oh, really?
So that's the reason why I didn't stay there in February, because I was here for 10 days.
Okay.
And I
Gotcha.
So I couldn't, I was just planning on going down there, setting up, doing like I'm doing right now, because I'm there 6 days this time. I can do that.
Right.
But,
well, I'm glad you're here. I'm very glad you're here on the island.
Well,
yes.
I am too, because, it's actually kind of neat in the morning. I talked about that, having been waking up as early as I normally do now. This morning I was up a little earlier, and then I was up at 5, I think, on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yesterday, I got up when the horn sounded on the ferry at
Okay,
8 o'clock.
That will wake you up.
Yeah. Well, it's not that loud, but it's just like, oh, time to get up. It's 8 o'clock. If the ferry's going, it's 8 o'clock.
Yes.
But on Tuesday, I was actually on the ferry at 8 o'clock when it went.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, because
nice.
I went over to Fort Morgan to do some research over there, and I just backpacked over there, just rode over.
Oh, smart.
And
I love going in the ferry because oftentimes you definitely see dolphin near you, and just the bird life out there and all. It's just beautiful. We have some people on the island that want to just hop on the ferry, the second before the last, hop on the ferry with no car or anything, take a little sunset cruise over, and come back on the last one.
And oh, by the way, let me share this little tidbit with you, because when I found this out, I was like, that's cool. You can ride the ferry as a pedestrian all day long for $6.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
When you pay $6, you can ride as many times as you want. Is what they told me.
That is so awesome.
So when I went over, all I had to do is show my receipt, and I'm free
hop
to
back on.
Hop back on.
$6.
$6.
All right, that's fabulous. Some of us too will take our bikes and hop on the ferry, and we ride over on our bikes, get off at Fort Morgan and ride to Tacky Jack's, have a little bite to eat, tour Fort Morgan, and then we come back over. And that's fun too. That's like just loads of fun.
Well, and so, one of the interesting things as I've gotten into this, and this actually ties in, for me, it ties in to both podcasts, because when you talk about the Battle of Mobile Bay, David Farragut, who was that? He was from Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
He was born just outside of Knoxville.
Wow.
And then the ship that he was taking on, the flagship of the Confederate fleet, was the CSS Tennessee.
Oh my goodness.
So when I started seeing all that, it's like, there's an intersection here. I've got to do this.
No doubt about it.
And you can actually, people who follow the Dauphin Island Irish podcast on Facebook, hint, 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 you've seen out on our Facebook page the reel that I did on Tuesday of this week, which at this point it is looking to see. Today's the 26th of March. So this would have been on the 24th of March that I posted this out there. By the time I'm not exactly sure when this is going to air. So by the time it does, this, it's not this week, last week. It was on the 24th of March. You have seen that I did a reel from over there. There's a marker where the Tecumseh went down. There's actually right off the shore. That's a maritime gravesite. That's where the Tecumseh went down with almost all hands, including the commanding officer. Excuse me.
Wow.
And they were never recovered. And so that's now, it's marked there for a reason. Number one, you know where it's at, but also
yes, to honor
them. Don't go there. Leave them alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's not a place to go in and start trying to
speedboat across. And,
or not speedboating across it, or diving and recovering.
Yes.
Artifacts.
That's
those
exactly
belong there.
right.
That's a grave. That would be grave robbing. So
yeah.
So anyway, that's the history that's here
is amazing.
Yeah, and
the occupation of the French, the British, Spanish. I mean, it's our history is extremely
Republic
rich.
of West Florida.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's endless.
Right, and well, that I'm really pursuing that particular story because
I love that.
It is kind of a parallel to the state of Franklin in Tennessee. Before Tennessee became a state, part of what is now East Tennessee tried to become the state of Franklin, and actually predated Vermont. If they had been accepted, they would have been the 14th state instead of
Is it that?
and we ended up becoming the 16th state. So that by the way, this is a shameless promotion for Sweet 16, episode 1 of the Tennessee History Nerd.
Woohoo!
So
that's great, really. Okay, I love it.
So
that's great. Oh my goodness. Well, and I think this might be the story that when I shared at the Welcome Center, which I would love to give a really nice shout out to a couple on this island, Bill and Pat Edwards. Did you get to meet them by chance? Okay. They are a foundation on this island. They're loaded with stories. The big piece of the ship that's in front of the fort, they're the ones that discovered it when they scuba dived.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And they had it pulled up and brought over here. And this couple, he is now 91.
No kidding.
She is, I believe, 87. I've never known a couple in my life that had more energy, more knowledge. They're so active. They dress alike every day, head to toe, always in Dauphin Island shirts. So they're dressed alike, but we wouldn't have our community center that we have if it weren't for them. And they started trying to have that done 25 years ago.
And that's so just for our listeners, I want to interrupt. I'm sorry, Shari.
Yes, no, please.
That is such a treasure.
Yes.
It is such a treasure. So first of all, it is the schoolhouse that was built here back in the 1930s.
The Welcome Center.
And it operated as the schoolhouse until the mid-2000 teens. I think it was like 2016, 2015, 2016, that it was still part. Now, now they had to build on. Let me be very clear. That one-room schoolhouse that had to
little barracks out.
Yeah, they had to build onto it. And then what in Tennessee we call portables.
Yes, that's right.
They had to have those. And then when they built the new elementary school that is here now, they built it in the same architectural style, which, by the way, the Little Red Schoolhouse wasn't originally red. One of the teachers at one point, or one of the principals at one point, always wanted to work in a Little Red Schoolhouse, had it painted red, and it became an institution.
Yes, it did.
But that's the Welcome Center. It has, I have been very impressed with several little towns I've gone to with the museum that they have, including in Tullahoma, Tennessee. By the way, the Mitchell Museum is like this, but their little museum that's here, and this little museum is open every single day,
except Sunday.
Except Sunday. It's open. It's open 6 days a week. Let me rephrase that. But the point I'm making is, like a lot of these places, you have to make an appointment to see their museum because they don't have the staff to do it. They have docents, people who volunteer. Shari's one of them, by the way.
Yes, I love it.
Who are there to give information, not just on what's in the Welcome Center, but on the island itself, to help you get around.
Dine, shop, sightseeing.
Because it's a Welcome Center plus the museum. And so it is an absolute treasure. If you come to Dauphin Island, you really, and by the way, come to Dauphin Island, you need to go to the Welcome Center.
Try to go there first to get all the information.
Yes. And the museum is just absolutely first rate. And by the way, they're constantly doing things to update it. I mean, it changes just about every time I'm in here.
That's right.
I'm coming fairly frequently now. I'm coming, every month or two now, whereas before it was like maybe once a year. Now I'm coming every month or two, and it still changes in between.
I've been a docent now for about 3 years there, and every day I learn something when I go. I've always something else, and you're right, it does constantly change. They also have a great gift shop in there, and we have a wonderful library, which I love books. So yeah.
Now let me be very clear. If you're coming down to do research, it's not that kind of library. It's a reading library. It's novels and entertainment type books. So if you're coming in expecting to do genealogical research or something like that, you're not going to find that. But yes, it does. They do have a great library in there. I want to make that distinction because I made the mistake on, they've got a great library. I got to go there, and then there's nothing there for
then you've
me.
got a lot of beach novels.
yes. So and videos if you want to watch videos.
Yeah, and puzzles.
Puzzles.
Lots of great puzzles.
But I'll also tell you, the people that work in there as docents, and if you're from Tennessee like I am, docent means volunteer who knows something. Yeah. Those folks, man, they're falling all over themselves to try to help you, to give you, because they are very, very proud of this island.
And we love our visitors.
And it's there are quite a few folks who are retired who work in there, but there are some young folks in there too.
Yes, absolutely.
And
some maybe even in their 30s, I believe.
There's one young lady in there. If she's out
she's
of her
30,
yes. So the point is, it's not
stuffy.
It's not stuffy. It's not just for the old farts.
That's right. We have fun in there, actually. There's a lot of laughter. And back to Bill and Pat, they run the Welcome Center.
Okay.
So they run it. They're the ones that go early in the morning, get the coffee ready, the cookies out. So they've been running it for
And then I have met them. I just didn't know who they were.
Yeah, they're so you need to chat with them. Their house is like a museum inside with all their diving. They have shells like everywhere, and I just know that when I grow up, I want to be, and I'm old enough now, but when I grow up, I want to really be like them, and I think the island keeps them young.
Well, that was one of the things that you keep talking about, people who, quite frankly, are long in the tooth.
Yes.
And still thriving.
Active.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the island so if you come to the island, you can literally go down the old part of the island from where the ferry is and the Coast Guard station on the east end of the island.
And the Sea Lab.
You can literally walk on a walking path.
That's right.
From there all the way to the west end until you get all the way down past the elementary school.
Yeah, and it actually still kind of goes with the bike path.
Yes.
Really, you could really go to the far west end where it dead ends.
Yeah.
So that made it really wonderful for biking and walking. But you're so true. Yeah. And there are little restaurants along the way that you can stop and get a bottled water.
or something to eat.
Or something to eat, yes. Yes, we've got fabulous seafood and all kinds of food on the island.
Miss Anita will tell you, go get the redfish Reuben.
Oh, yes.
At the carriage house.
Yes, that's right, because her daughter is chef.
Yeah.
But it also is very delicious.
Yeah.
And it's just been, it is a very, very special island. And I think many will just love it. And I think one of the stories that you found so interesting is about my dad's ring.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well, before you do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Talk through the pictures a little more, because you'd started that, and then we kind of went down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
I want to make sure, because I mentioned I was going to take pictures of all these for them to see. I want you to kind of talk through what you're looking at, and then when they see the pictures, they can associate the two.
Okay.
If you're a business with a strong connection to history, education, travel, or place-based storytelling, and you're looking to reach an audience that values those things, we should talk. You can reach me at john.summers@summersmediaenterprises.com. Now, let's get back to our story.
Great. Okay. So some of the black and whites will, of course, be my mom and my dad dating. I've got them in bathing suits where my mom was 20. My dad was 24. And these were the days when he was at Metzger's and she was at WALA. And I've got the ones with them in their suit and their Sunday best on the island. Mom said that Dad would take his shoes off, and there he was in a sports coat and all, and he'd be walking on the sand. You know, it gets in you.
Right.
And then I have one of my mom in front of Isle Dauphine, which was our country club back in the mid-50s. And it still has been, it was in operation as other restaurants like Pirates. And Pirates Bar and Grill, and just fabulous.
So it was Pirates up until like two, 3 weeks ago.
Yes. And I have to say, we are the sunset, our little mottos are, we're the sunset capital of Alabama. And it is right on. And then the funniest one that we all get a kick out, a sign is, we're the birdiest coastal town. When my brother saw that sign, he's like, the birdiest, you know. And it's true because we have migration here, April, October. So we have a lot of birders that come through here. And we've got the bird sanctuary that is the Audubon Bird Sanctuary that is so beautiful when you walk through and you end up on the beach.
Well, and it's not the only one. So that's the big one. You've got Tupelo Gum Swamp.
Yeah. Yes.
You've got the Goat Trees is also a sanctuary, and there's another one across the street from it. I'm not sure if it has a name or not, but it's right over in that same area.
Yes.
There are literally bird sanctuaries scattered all around the island.
That's exactly right.
So if you're a bird watcher, you know this is matter of fact, if you're doing a big year.
Yes.
You know, this is
you might find a lot of them here.
You could find a lot of them here. So.
And just standing on the beach, sitting on the beach, you see all the seagulls and the blue herons, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Speaking of birds, something that caught my sight, and you maybe were here, but about 2 months ago, I'm driving over the bridge, and I look over off to the right, and I see what look like flamingos.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, these pink birds, like 30 of them.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of go slow, and I just put my arm out and took a snapshot. I wanted my brother to tell me, what in the world is this? And he ended up telling me those are the rosette spoonbills.
Yep.
And normally, they're not here regular, but they were here at that time. And usually they would be here, they say, for like about a week. Do you remember? They were here for, it was like 3 weeks. I got to see them all the time.
I saw my wife, and I know it either was in November or it was in early October, because that's when we were here last fall. We came twice last fall.
That's right. That would have
been. And we saw them. We were on our way to church, because we go to church up at Bellingrath Road when we're here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we were on our way across the causeway and had just crossed the bridge, and it was like, was that a flamingo?
Yeah. Okay, you did that too. Okay. I did too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, flamingos. You know, because you can't take your eye off the road for too long when you're on that big bridge. But I had to just look. It was amazing.
Well, we were actually across the bridge. It was actually on the other side of Jameson's.
Oh, okay.
But where we saw them, they were off in the marshy area there. But there was all kinds of traffic behind us, or I would have said, stop.
Yes, stop. I actually did do that one day. I pulled over really quickly because they were still there.
Right.
And I did get some really pretty snapshots. But online, on Facebook, and maybe I've got a photo you could maybe even put on there showing that someone else took on the island, but they would not mind. I'll check with them. But that was spectacular. That was just so beautiful. But yes, so then there is the photo of my brother in front of the drawbridge, and that's my brother Eric that passed just 2 months after that trip.
And
that's Eric.
Yeah, right? I was looking. I was thinking there was one that had you in it.
Oh, you know what? Yes, that's right here. So this will be one people will get a kick out of, seeing all the 1970s cars. It was an angle looking back to the cars that are going to go off the island. And so in this picture is myself, my mom, my brother Brent, my sister Karen, holding little baby Jill that we ordered. So there is Jill. And then my dad's taking the picture, and my brother Eric and Vince are the ones running back from the bridge.
Is that an LTD?
Is that what? Yes. It was a Buick.
Oh, it's a Buick.
Yeah, it's a Buick.
So it wasn't, LTD was Ford. So
that's right. This was a Buick. And that's actually my uncle off to the side. That's his car behind. So we would just, it's been so special because before we had such a huge family with our immediate and on, our aunts and uncles and cousins, some still do also rent on the island. So with that said, sometimes we can have up to 6 beach houses.
Right.
So like that was my uncle that came from Texas.
Well, the great thing is with them doing the construction on the road right now, you can do the same thing that you did then. Everybody can get out while they've got the flag guys got you stopped. So.
You got that right. Haven't thought about that, but you got that so right. Okay, and another fun thing, and this will show in the photos, is that I can't remember, maybe 25 years ago, I think it was my sister-in-law, Erica. She was like, you know what? We need to start picking a color. And we share the color, and we all come in that color for picture night. At this time, I think we've gone through just about every color known to man. I mean, we even had a year that was periwinkle. I mean, sea foam. We do variations from the primary colors. But so I've got a bunch of those for like
this year do tie-dye.
Okay. Hey. Oh my goodness. I'm liking that, and that kind of takes us back to the 70s. I'm liking that. And with the sunset, we always do it at sunset.
Oh, that's even better.
That would be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm throwing it out there because we've just lost about everything.
There you go. That way you can get a bunch of them, variegated.
I love that idea. The special thing too, see, can you believe all these? Yellow, lavender, we've done red, orange. So here's the cool story, and this is really, really neat too. After my father passed, my great nephew, Jude, he said that year, or he said maybe to his mom from Hawaii on the phone, I think we should do black with Pappy's story about Honey, his grandmother, and my dad. And we should all do black regarding how they met or started dating the Black Shorts. So here is a picture of my mom in the black shorts. That she
almost a cheesecake photo.
Yes, it is. Yeah, she's quite lovely.
Uh-huh.
And those are the black shorts that she got at Lerner's. And so here we are, the year in black and white, because of Jude coming up with that thought. So that's what's so beautiful. He was probably 10.
That's neat.
When he suggested that.
That's
and to
really
think
neat.
The legacy we feel in our family, it will continue until the day. Yes.
Right.
I mean, it's just going to keep going. So that's us looking up the siblings and my mom just in honor of my father.
That's neat.
That's a neat thing. And speaking of that, let's see, was it that year, the story that you love so much about my dad's ring?
Yes.
So let's see, that was yes, it was. It would have been the year after this. Okay. So this would have been 2 years ago on our vacation. I had gone through some of my dad's jewelry, like I always wear his watch that he got for retirement. And I saw some different pieces that I thought my other siblings that they would really like. So I saw my dad's retirement ring that they had like an eagle on one side. He retired from Black & Decker Power Tools. He was the national account manager for many years. Then after my brother passed, Eric, he asked for a demotion and became the regional account manager. But he was extremely well respected with Black & Decker. So when he retired, they gave him the watch, they gave him a ring, and other things honored him. But I looked at it and I saw the last name Pope on it. And the eagle. Well, Vince and Eric are the only ones that had a boy. The last grandchild. Mom and Dad have 10 grandchildren, and the last one is a boy. So I thought, I think that Vince would like to have this to pass on to Josh. And so I gave it to Vince on our vacation, and he was wearing it. And we do so many fun things while we're taking pictures. We do jumps, and we just do all kinds of fun things. And that was, that was that trip. And about like 2 months later, I get a phone call. And this friend said, "Hey, have you looked on Facebook on our Dauphin Island side? Somebody just posted that they found a ring buried deep in the sand when they were building a sandcastle. And the last name is Pope." So I'm like, "Pope?" I said, "Well, I gave my brother my dad's his retirement ring." And he said, "Well, it's located at this real estate office." So anyway, I called the real estate, and she sent a picture. I said, "Yes, that is my dad's ring." And I called my brother. I was thinking this is going to be kind of funny. But I'm like thinking he's either in trouble or
Awkward.
awkward. Anyway, I called Vince, and I say, "Hey, Vince," I said, "have you by chance, do you have Dad's ring there?" He's back in Virginia then.
Right.
And he's like, "Well, I've been looking everywhere." He said, "I know it's got to be in my car." After the vacation, he said, "I've looked all in there, but I haven't found it." I said, "That's because it was buried a foot down in the sand behind our beach house."
Wow.
We both just laughed. I said, "I've got it though." And he realized when he was jumping, he was showing us girls like, "Jump like this," it just slipped off. But and I have to so thank this young man. He was 25, the one that found it. I ended up talking with his mom, and they're such a good family, and that he said, "I want to give this back to whomever."
Right.
Well, it was right behind the beach house that my brother Vince and that big family, they always rent. And here's the beautiful thing. The name of that house is called At Last. Yeah. At Last.
Mm-hmm.
So those two words remind me so much of our legacy, that Dad and Mom got to move here at last. They brought so much love and legacy to the island with the family at last. And it just continues. But we still rent that home every week. It's already rented for next year. And it means even more just, so someday I'd actually love to write a legacy love story and name it At Last, an island love story.
Why don't you?
I'm already starting, and you've actually kind of helped me with this. I thought about that last week, and I said, John asking me, it is such a beautiful story of love and loss, and faith, and so many beautiful things, and just the love for the island.
So let me go ahead and tell you, if you struggle with things a little bit, you can use ChatGPT or something like that to
I've
assist you
heard.
with that. I use ChatGPT extensively.
Do you? Okay. And I have heard, I've always loved to write. As a matter of fact, I did write like a little short writing after my brother passed. It was a tree when we moved to Texas. Okay, you can imagine growing up around here. Trees everywhere here in Alabama, just all over the place. We had a huge oak in front of our tree when we moved away. Well, and it's kind of quite a funny story, but Dad and my older sister went, and they got the house. My dad was going to meet his new company. Dad bought the house, no internet, so he couldn't send Mom photos, screenshotting. He just said, "Patricia, you're going to love this house. It's by 2 schools the kids can all walk to. And it's new. It's a little Fox and Jacobs home. It was new. And my mom is the most adaptable human being I've ever known. So we just packed up and off we went. Well, we ended up there at like 2 a.m, so it was dark. And we wake up. We had sleeping bags, and we wake up to peek out to look at our new place. Oh, dear. Okay, we kids thought we were on Mars. I kid you not. It's called Texas Black Gumbo, was our dirt. We had one skinny little mesquite tree that was planted in the very front because it's a whole new subdivision. But we were asking Dad, "What is that?" I mean, we'd never seen anything like that. So we're like, what is that? And Dad said, well, they're putting grass down, so kids, don't worry. We're going to have grass, and we'll have some trees eventually. Well, my mom, the only thing she said that was negative, about a week after, she goes, I just really miss the trees. So my brother Eric went to a park, and he cut down a cottonwood. He dug up a cottonwood, and he drug it. I think my mom even has a picture of just him bringing this little tree up, almost a mile from where we lived. So my brother Eric brought her a tree, and it stayed. We planted it. It was huge. The neighbors weren't real thrilled because of the cottonwood
Right.
that would fly out everywhere. But it stayed there all the way until about 2 months after he passed.
Oh, wow.
And it started to die. But my dad and I walked out one day, and I said, Dad, look at that. There was one bird's nest that was still in that tree with no leaves on the tree. And we knew that we had to cut it down. And we kind of said, you know what? It was meant to be. That was Eric's tree. So I did write a neat little, just a 5-page story about that way back. Yeah. And I love to write.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Because you've got stories to tell.
Well, thank you.
So,
Thank you.
The neat thing about cottonwoods, the guys, when the pioneers going across, they would look for cottonwoods because that meant there was water nearby.
And it was right by water. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
There was a running creek that went through there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they always looked for that because that's where they naturally grew, was where there was water.
Okay.
And I wondered, when you said that it didn't make it, I was wondering, did it just not get enough water?
Oh, that is, but it did live. Let's see. Well, yeah, you're exactly right, because that would have been, he would have been like maybe, no, he was 8. Because I was 10.
So it lasted like 8 years.
That's right. You know what? That could very well. But see, I still think it's because Eric was gone.
Right. Well, no,
but no, I think you're exactly right. That has to be.
But that's when as soon as you said cottonwood, I was like, yeah, those are always around water.
Yes, it needed more water. That's exactly right. Yeah, but we love Texas. It was a great place to be raised. We missed all of our family, but maybe that's what also. We wouldn't have this legacy, because we'd be coming on and off with family, some this time, some that time. This way, it had us come.
This was your anchor.
Yes.
This was your anchor, and I think that there's something poignant about a place with the maritime history, it being your anchor.
No doubt about it. That's exactly right. When I lived in outside of Dallas, Dad did pick a place too that was close to a very big lake. It's called Lake Ray Hubbard, and I ended up moving like right on the lake. It's like I had to see water. I lived for a very short time in Richardson for like 2 years, and the whole time I felt very claustrophobic. It's like I have to. And even though I worked downtown Dallas, I would drive over that long bridge that reminds me, I know, can you believe I worked at the Dallas Apparel Mart in the wholesale industry. I sold like Calvin Klein back then, Gloria Vanderbilt. I was a rep for them. But I would take that 45-minute drive to an hour every morning, every evening, so I could be by the water. So I know that's in me too.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking.
You did work in cities.
I worked in Nashville, and Nashville's is bad. I think the Metroplex is even worse, and Nashville is one of the worst in the country, so that's saying something.
Wow.
So, but in terms of traffic, so yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah, no, the traffic, but I just knew if I'm going to be living there, it's going to be by water. And the minute, it's just like here, the minute I hit the bridge, and all of us say that, and I know you do too, you know that feeling, the minute your eyes see the bridge, it's like everything relaxes.
Well, I will say this, for me, I don't like heights at all.
Yes.
So when I go across that bridge, and my wife laughs at me, she's like looking out this window like,
Yeah.
Hands at 10 and 2. You keep your eyes on the road. You're driving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, does she drive over the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
A lot of times she does. I mean, I'm down here by myself this time, but the thing for me is that once I'm off the hump, it's
then you're fine.
I'm fine. But at that point, then it's like your blood pressure starts dropping. It starts dropping.
Does.
I mean, life slows down to 35 miles an hour.
That's exactly right. And we don't have one red light on the island. And you know what? When you talked about the bridge, I've had two people that came into the Welcome Center, and they said, I was driving and I saw that bridge and I had to pull over and have my husband take over. I had to have opposite even.
Right.
And they're like, I couldn't handle the thought of going over, that hump.
Well, the wild thing is, I noticed this, I told you we go to Bellingrath Road.
Yeah.
And so get out of church on Wednesday evening after dark, and you're coming back to the island. And when you start at the bottom of that, if there's cars coming across the top, it looks like an airplane coming down at you.
It does, doesn't it? It's like, I know exactly that feeling. And a lot of times, like every now and then, every now and then I'll get this little feeling as you're going up to it, because it looks like you're just going up to heaven.
And you can't see the crest. It's almost like, man, I hope there's a bridge on the other side.
No. I've felt that several times. Yes, that is so true. And yeah.
Well, a really funny story that this isn't mine. I'm going to share Melinda, who runs the fort.
I love her.
She's from Bayou La Battery.
Yes.
And she said, and she has family that did shipyard stuff over there.
Right.
And she said that she said she didn't tell anybody at first because she was afraid somebody would think she was nuts. But she said she was driving across, and she said it was really foggy. It was probably too foggy for me to be driving it. But she said, I topped the bridge, and I could see masts going under the bridge. And she said, I thought I had seen ghost ships or something.
Yes, like a vision.
And she said, I didn't tell anybody about it. And then I found out they were actually working on the replicas of the Nina Pinta and Santa Maria.
Oh,
and they had crossed under just as she was crossing the bridge.
You are kidding.
Yes.
What a sight to see.
Yes. Well, those things.
My goodness.
The crazy thing is they've had a couple of those ships. Last fall they had them in Chattanooga. The year before they were in Knoxville. They go up the Tennessee River.
And you know what? I think they have one at Orange Beach that they take people out on. Oh, actually, that one is, the Black Pearl that was in Pirates of the Caribbean. It was built right here in the bayou.
Bayou La Battery.
Yes, right there in the bayou. So,
excuse me, let me say this correctly for those who might.
Oh, yeah.
Bayou La Battery.
That's right.
But the locals all say Bayou La Battery.
That's right.
It's Bayou La Battery.
Or just the bayou.
Yeah.
Just the bayou.
It sounds like what's coming out of your liver. Bayou La Battery.
I love that. Yes. And that's where Forrest Gump, that's where Tom Hanks was there.
And the funny thing is I found out about that because I never watched that movie all the way through.
Oh, now.
And
Bubba Gump.
Yeah. And so, people were talking about that being, isn't that where Forrest Gump was? I don't know. I had to look it up, and it was like, actually, yes, it was, and I had no idea.
Yes. And in interviews, he would talk about how much he loved the people down here.
Yeah.
That they were just so friendly and kind. And
well, you sent me information on Murder Point.
Oh yeah, the oysters.
And I'm going to be doing research on that, but going out to their website, those guys, I mean, they have that bayou.
You bet.
I mean, you can hear the swamp in their voice when they start talking.
That's exactly right. And they have quite the business. And yeah, I love the mini accents. I guess I lost it a bit.
No.
No. Maybe any up north are listening to me say, no, I haven't. But my grandmother had that beautiful Southern drawl. She was a true Southern belle. She was an artist and had a lot of her artwork and different exhibits in Mobile. And she lived to be 94. So I'm hoping and praying my mom lives to be 100. Okay, Mom.
and the funny thing, too, and I'll share this with you. You'll love this story. I'm doing a lot of traveling for both podcasts because I try to do stuff on site. I want the stories from there. I don't want what's coming off the internet. I use it a lot.
Yes.
But that doesn't give you the flavor.
Yes.
And I want the flavor. So I'm actually all the way up as far in the northwest part of Tennessee as you can go. I'm up in Tiptonville, up at Reelfoot Lake, and I'm standing there in the visitor center at Reelfoot Lake State Park, and one of the park rangers, I've been talking to her because I'm trying to get information, right? And I'm doing it in between customers, and this couple comes in, and he's obviously not from around here.
Oh boy.
He's got a northern accent, and I forget now where it is that he was from, but her family was from Theodore and Coden.
Oh wow.
And they met at school in Tennessee.
Oh my goodness!
And
wow!
And so I mean, there's that connection again. I keep telling
absolutely.
Yeah, so
it all weaves together. All these different stories.
And I'm constantly amazed at the Tennessee Bay connection that I keep running into.
Well, it was meant to be.
Well, perhaps it is.
That's right. I think that's very much meant to be.
Well, and I remember thinking when I first heard that those guys were from down here on the old sailing vessels, that the Nina and the Pinta were the ones that were up in Knoxville, and then I think both of them were in Chattanooga. How did they get there? They go right up the Tom Bigby Waterway.
Oh, that would be a sight.
Yeah, they go right up the Tom Bigby Waterway and then catch the Tennessee and go up the Tennessee.
Oh my goodness. You need to catch that sometime. You need to get their schedule.
Yes.
Yes. That would be, I would love to watch.
Well, I mean, so let me say this. I am surmising, because when I found out that was
their path.
Well, I found out that is a legitimate path. I thought, are they going up the Tennessee River all the way to the Ohio River back down? No, they don't have to do that. It's a lot closer to go up the Tom Bigby Waterway. And I didn't even realize that until fairly recently.
I just love that. Yeah, the earlier history. And I don't know, in your podcast with Anita, did she mention again that our original name was Massacre Island? Did she share that?
She didn't. And it was actually, I plan on bringing that particular story out with the shell mounds when I do that story.
Okay, sweet. Yes.
Because that's what
that's right. When the French came over, and they saw piles and mounds of skeletal remains, and they thought there had just been this horrific battle on the island, so they named it Massacre Island. And then later to come to find out that was really more their ceremonial burial type ground.
And what I think that had happened was they actually were buried and probably storms uncovered it.
You know what? That would make so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yes. But thank goodness. I'm not sure that I would be living here if it was still called Massacre Island. So I'm very glad it's Dauphine, also named from the French. And our island is very French. Most all names are like, Bienville. I live on Le Moyne. And also from generals.
Confederates.
Confederates, exactly.
Yeah. So, by the way, you will not find a Farragut Street here.
No, you will not.
You will not find Farragut Street. You will not find Well, there's a Granger, but it's not General Granger. It's a different spelling, actually. And you're not going to find. There's a Grant Street. It's not Ulysses. When you go find the stories. But I mean, there's just the airstrip. The airstrip's named for Admiral Denton.
Yes, and I just discovered that like a year ago. Yes.
I've known it longer than you then.
Yes, because that I really never thought of much. And I do love going. My mom lives right up from the airport. Mm-hmm. Although, y'all, it's a very small airport, so you're not going to be landing a huge jet here.
So when I say it's actually not called an airport.
That's right.
It's called an airstrip because it's a runway, and that's it.
You touch down and you take off, or
right.
you can leave your plane there for a little bit. Okay, a funny story. I had by my mom's, I'm leaving my mother's, and I'm pulling out, and I see two gentlemen and these four young boys, mm-hmm. and they're pulling luggage, from the airport. Well, it just happened to be during the time of the Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo.
They flown in, not realizing it was.
Which I will tell you, and I'll go back and say right now. So, if you all don't know that, we actually do host the world's largest Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo, and this is going to be our I think it might be our 94th year. Well, my dad used to always say that, the world's largest world. And I'm thinking, oh, not on little Dauphin Island. Well, come to find out, it is.
Oh, yes.
And we, in those few days, we have like around 80,000 people that come. It's a big deal. I watched a 1,000-pound shark 2 years ago that was lifted up on the crane. And
Wow.
just huge fish that come in, and kids love it. I used to go as a child. Dad would take us there. But
let me interject here.
Yes.
But to be very clear about this, it predates the development of the island.
That's right.
This was going on, when there was just those 8 families here.
That's right.
This was before
No bridge.
Yeah, no bridge. It was. When the only way to get here was by boat. So
by boat, and they would come from all over.
Right.
And they still do. They come from just all over. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the bridge and all, and so it's fascinating. The 2 hours before the rodeo concludes, to see how many of the boats are flying in to make that time.
Right.
That's one of my favorite times during the rodeo.
It's like any tournament. If you because we see the same thing on the lakes around home with the bass tournaments.
Oh, it's so thrilling.
Yeah.
It's just thrilling. And there's a spot where a bunch of our friends go, we cheer that last one on that's rushing to get in.
Hurry.
And sadly, we've seen several times where they didn't make it in time. They're just right there at the very end. But it's such a beautiful event. And so this particular time when these gentlemen were coming, so they all are pulling behind their luggage.
Right.
And I pulled up to it, and I rolled to the window, and I said, are y'all looking for something? Or y'all, and he goes, well, we flew in from Texas, I think Lubbock, in their plane.
Oh.
And he goes, we thought it was an airport with transportation to take us to our beach house that we were renting. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I go, well, let me see what I can do. I said, are y'all here for the Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo? They didn't even know that was going on.
Oh,
So they came on a weekend that they had rented a boat, which was fortunate they were able to get. And so I said, hey, come to my mom's. And I said, y'all just come in, we'll get y'all some water and whatnot. And I said, and let me orchestrate this. And so I ended up calling a friend that has a big truck that could take them down to their Weston house. And I took the 2 gentlemen, they were wanting to get food, so I took them to Ship and Shore.
Right.
So they could stock up on their food
Right.
and, all this. And then my friend picked them up and take them to the house. But yes, it is a landing strip.
yes. If you've been enjoying Dauphin Island Diaries, there's a way to take a little piece of it with you. We've got merchandise available, shirts, hats, and more, so you can represent the show wherever you go. You can check that out at summersmediaenterprises.com/merch. And as always, thanks for listening. And now, let's return to the story. And let me also point out what Shari was just telling you with that story. That's the community spirit that there is here. It really is. What she did, I don't want to take anything away from what she's just said about what she did, but that's not extraordinary here. That's what a lot of people do.
All.
Yeah.
And when we have hurricanes,
Yeah.
we come together. A last one that we had, which was Zeta, you wouldn't believe how many people were just going and buying gift cards from everywhere, like Walmart and this and that, and taking them to the owners that have had destruction.
Right.
And helping haul debris, helping
Right.
taking them food, whatever they need, clothes.
Right.
Like there are some families we know that we would shout out there, if you have size 4 or this or that, we do. We're a big family. Yeah, and we love helping, and because we love our visitors.
Right.
And up north, east, west, south, wherever you are, we love our visitors. And we had like a Make-A-Wish for a young, beautiful 7-year-old. And we found out she was coming. She had never been to the beach before. We found out she was coming. And I had not been here long, Jill and I. It was, I think, right before COVID. And we got word that she was coming to see the beach. So we all got together as a island, and we provided every meal. We had the young one's name, big shells all down on the beach in her name. We got a jewelry box together for her, filled with like mermaid jewelry and sand dollars and just such beautiful things. And my friend posted a picture of the young girl hugging on the mother. Her arms were around the mom. And another friend on the island called his children, and he said, "Kids, this is what's most important in life. This young little one is on our island now, and make a wish." Well, his daughter is a fabulous artist. She's now up in New York painting.
Wow.
I'll end up sharing that photo at some time with you. She ended up sketching the most beautiful of that mother and daughter, and we mailed it to the mom. So we have those kind of things, and we host the Wounded Warriors here every year. They're going to be here, I think, you might be here, about a month. I'm not sure the date, but I'll get it to you. We host a parade for them. All islanders just come out with flags, and they come and stay for a week, and we also do the food and all that. They get to go out on the boat and go fishing. So we are an island that love people. Yeah. And maybe that's why that was in my mom and dad. It just got in them too.
Well, yeah. And I think that once that you're a part of a community like that.
Yeah.
So and that's I'm not gonna bash other parts of this area. I'm not saying this, but
you don't get that everywhere.
Right. This reminds me of the small. I grew up in rural Tennessee, country folk. This is the closest I have seen.
Absolutely.
Of that
community,
kind.
A loving community, like a family.
And I can remember, there were some World War II vets. Of course, they're all gone now, but that there was a family cemetery there in that community that they cleaned out, and they used to pay me. I was a teenager. They'd pay me to go in and to weed eat it, keep it cleaned out.
Oh, that's
and so
yes.
that was the kind of thing that went on, and I've noticed that they're gone, and the last time I was through there, the cemetery was grown up again. So
wow,
so
yes,
nobody's got that same sense of
that's
of
a hard, that's like our fabulous, iconic building, that Isle Dauphine, that was the country club. It's now vacant. So if there is anyone that would love to come in there and put in a restaurant or a huge art gallery, or it needs work, and that's what's happening, why the establishment had to move on to another location.
Yeah,
because it's very expensive.
Yeah, and it's the thing is, it was a unique building. It's a unique building now, but in the 1950s, when it was built, it was space age.
Oh yes, the architect. It's just unbelievable. It's very different. You can go online and see it. And it was very elegant. Back then it was private. It was like a lot of mobilians would be the ones to come over, and they had that beautiful circular pool, and they had linen tablecloths, and the staff were in coats and tie, and so it was very, very elegant. And of course, nowadays we have to be casual because, you want to just go in there and see that sunset and get your great crab cakes, and
Well, and Miss Anita said upstairs was nothing but a
dancing,
dance floor. Yeah.
That my mom and dad would go there dancing.
Right.
So they had not only the beautiful casino that isn't really a casino, but and Isle Dauphine. So what a lovely way to grow up as a teenager back then, or in your 20s and 50s.
Right, and that is, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is owned by the DIPOA.
The POA, that's right. It's currently, under the Property Owner Association, but we're hoping too that somehow we just have to get more funding to preserve it. It's too fabulous not to.
Well, yeah. Well, honestly, I think it needs to be on the national registry.
It is.
Okay.
But if it's owned by the POA. From what I understand, it can't get. I don't think they're even doing the funding like they used to for many things.
Okay.
But I tell you what, if somebody was out there and wanted to invest, or like a group of investors, to come in there and refurbish, clean up, and it was thriving. I mean, there was a 2-hour wait on the weekends every night during the summer. It just is thriving.
Well, it's not huge. I mean, it's not. The seating area, and that's the reason why they turned the upstairs into the bar and area. But I mean, it was not really meant for.
Huge.
Well, I mean, the upstairs, you had to go up that circular staircase to take food up there, even as a wait staff. It's not really. It's not the greatest.
Yeah, they had a dumbwaiter though that they could end up, but because of financial, it needs so much of that upgrading.
Right.
So it could be fabulous. It could be fabulous again,
but it's going to have
work.
TLC and
lots of TLC and the funding that makes the TLC possible. So yeah, because we tried for years for Philip Petronas to be able to keep it. And we all dine there. I would probably dine there twice a week.
Right.
But because of the funding,
Like here at the new location earlier this week. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And things all work out. He's got the other one that's being built right now that's going to be beautiful as well. Things work out.
So I bet you can answer this question.
Okay, I hope so.
Tell me about the cruise. Krewes.
Okay. So that was actually started by the wonderful couple I mentioned, Bill and Pat. So that is our Mardi Gras organization. They started that, I think, maybe about 25 years ago.
Okay.
They went to, a group of like 6 went to New Orleans.
Oh, not to Mobile.
Well, no, they just went over to New Orleans to brainstorm. They were from Mobile.
Oh, okay.
They went over there to brainstorm to come up with their name.
I see.
And one thing, probably as what I hear, they had a few cocktails, and then their name just kind of came together. They came back. They started the organization because a lot of people may not know that Mobile was actually the very first place for Mardi Gras.
Right.
And then New Orleans, but it actually started first in Mobile.
Well, it started in Mobile before there even was a New Orleans.
That's exactly right. Yes, exactly.
That's how far back it goes.
So if you ever when you go to the Welcome Center, we've got one table with all the beads and all the Mardi Gras information. You'll see a great picture of the king and queen with their crowns. That's Bill and Pat.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I that was one of the things that my wife was really interested in and she was jealous of me because when I was here last time.
Was it the Massacre Island Parade? The evening
No,
parade?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get to see any of the parades here. But Mardi Gras, they were getting into Deep Gras.
Oh boy.
And so so I'm going to, again, shameless plug for the Tennessee History Nerd. I'm out doing my thing, sunrise on the point out there, and I'm like, that looks like a Navy ship. It was the Farragut coming in.
Oh my word!
And so I got video of the Farragut coming in.
Oh, that's right, because it went to the Mobile port.
Right.
Oh my goodness!
And so it's like, I shot it just as it was passing Fort Morgan. It's like this, where the Farragut is now, is where its namesake made his reputation. That's where the Damn the Torpedoes thing happened.
Right.
Was right where that ship is right now.
You got to see it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
And I've got it on video. It's on my Facebook page.
There's so much that goes. That's what's so beautiful about it.
I toured it too.
You did. I wanted to go tour it.
I did.
I wished I had.
I stayed an extra day so I could go tour it because
you.
I was planning to go home on Friday.
Yes.
And that's when they got here, but because they weren't going to be open until Saturday, it's like, it's going to be a long night on Saturday night getting everything ready for Sunday.
Yes.
Because I preach, so I work on Sundays.
Oh, wonderful.
So, but it's like I'm biting the bullet, and I'm doing the same thing this time too. Although I'm not preaching this Sunday, I'll preach Sunday night. But
I love that.
This this gives everybody who's listening to this an idea of exactly when this is. So tomorrow is the 212th anniversary of the Battle of Horseshoe Bend.
In Tennessee.
No.
Oh, no.
It was in Alabama. It's
Oh,
not far
okay, I'm sorry.
It's not far from Montgomery.
Oh,
but that's
okay.
But Andrew Jackson was there. Sam Houston,
Ooh.
who everybody in Texas
Oh,
loves.
you betcha.
But he was a Tennessean first. He was the governor of Tennessee before he was in Texas.
Wow, we've got a huge statue of him.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
in Huntsville, Texas.
He was ours first. And Davy Crockett was ours first, too.
Wow.
And he was there. And Sequoia
Two
was there.
great states then.
Right.
They had that.
Well, Texas is great because Tennessee helped out. So
The two T's.
there you go. Well, and in fact, there was a period of time where there was such a mass exodus in the 1820s and 1830s because Mexico wanted Texas to be populated. They were actually giving land away to get people to come in, and so you would go all across Tennessee and you'd see cabins with GTT scratched on the doors, gone to Texas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, or chalked on the door. So people just pull up stakes and head.
Right.
And head.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how. I mean, Davy Crockett was a representative for the state of Tennessee in Congress.
Okay, that is cool.
So
yes, and love the Alamo. Yeah, love the Alamo too.
There was a Summers there.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about seeing the Farragut come in.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate. On my balcony one day, I knew about when the SS United States was coming through from Philadelphia. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
It had been up there in Philadelphia for all these years, just vacant and just sitting there and
being stripped and gutted. And
yes, and we knew that it was then going to be coming down to the Mobile port.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to get there, they have to go through
right
Mobile
through
Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the balcony. I knew about when it was coming, and I'm looking out, and there I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like the Titanic. It's actually larger than the Titanic, but it was being tugged, and that blew my mind. The smallest tugboat, of course it looked small compared to the big ship, but it was a very elegant cruise line back in the day, the SS United States, and they're bringing in a Mobile port to even more so dismantle and do everything. And then it's going to be going, I believe, Panama City?
Nope, off the coast of Destin.
Okay, off the coast of Destin. And you can let them know it's going to be
So
the world's largest?
yeah, it's going to be the world's largest artificial reef when it's sunk. But that's what they're actually prepping it in Mobile as we speak. Matter of fact, it was supposed to have already been gone.
That's right.
And there's actually a stay right now. There's an injunction to keep it from going out. The Army Corps of Engineers is actually doing additional research into whether it should be sunk or not. But the thing is, those people who are trying to save it are trying to save it to make it into a museum or something. There's nothing to do that with. It's gutted. I mean,
it's gutted.
All of the original stuff is gone.
It's gone. And we also already have the Maritime Museum, which is fabulous.
But I mean, they weren't looking for it to be a museum here.
Okay.
But I think they wanted to take it back to New York City. That was where it was. That was where it was out of.
No, we want it down here.
but it was the thing about it, the guy who designed it, there were two things that he liked to do. Number one, he wanted fast ships, and it still holds the record for the fastest ocean lining crossing.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, he was not passionate. He was obsessive about having fireproof ships. There was no wood anywhere on the ship.
Wow.
And what separated the compartments was all asbestos. I mean, in the 50s, that was the thing.
Oh, boy.
But the thing is, they couldn't leave that in there to before they had to pull that all out before they sank it. So now, when you go in, there are no cabins.
Right.
It's just a big boat, wide open, cavernous. Every deck is wide open.
Right.
You can walk from I was talking to a gentleman at the museum yesterday, and he said you literally can walk from here's where this stateroom was. You can walk to the next stateroom, and the only way you can tell is there's the hole where the toilet was.
Wow.
I
Oh
mean,
my goodness.
there's this toilet hole here. There's that toilet hole there. There's nothing in between to otherwise delineate that this was a room.
Right.
So there's no. I mean, to replace that, you would have to do one of two things. You would have to either have all replica stuff put in there, and oh, by the way, you would have to put something in there other than asbestos.
Yes.
And number one. Number two, you would have to, where you could get original gear like the steering wheel or what have you. Well, people who own that, if they find out, oh, they're going to make a museum out of it. Oh, I've got the steering wheel. I'll sell it to you for $1 million bucks.
Right. Yes.
So it's simply as much. I mean,
Not conducive.
and I am a history nut. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I also recognize this is it's beyond impractical. It's an untenable idea.
And the timeline would be forever if they were to do that.
Right.
So it needs to have some life again, and doing that, and divers and
it's going to be down there like where the Oriskany is.
Oh yes, okay.
And you know you
off Destin.
Yeah, well, I'm not the Oriskany is farther down the coast. I want to say,
Okay.
but the pictures that you have in the Welcome Center of the reef in the artificial reef section, that's the Oriskany going down.
Wow. Okay.
So it's actually not.
I should know that since I volunteer there.
Well,
you taught me something.
well, I looked it up because I was like, what
Yeah.
aircraft carrier is there off the coast of? Because I thought it was like off the coast of Dauphin Island or something. No, it's illustrative of the concept of artificial reef, and that particular one, they actually made a mistake when they sank it. It's in too deep of water.
Oh no.
I was talking
Okay.
to a Navy diver when I was here in February. He was it? No, it was when I was here in November. I was at the
Campground.
no, I was
No?
at the fort.
Mm-hmm.
He was touring the fort, and he came in. I was shooting pictures,
Ooh, mhm.
and so I stopped because I mean I was just in there shooting pictures. I want people who are there to paying customers trying to see the fort. Go ahead and see it. You're here for I'll be here again, and but we got to talking.
Absolutely. Great conversations in there among people.
And he was a Navy diver. He was on furlough at that point because of the shutdown at that time.
Okay.
And so he and his son had come over here. He was stationed in Pensacola,
Oh.
and had come over here to see the fort.
Good timing.
And we got to talking about the Oriskany, and he said, yeah, he said I've been to it because of the special gear, but he said you can't do it with normal scuba gear. You got to have rebreather type stuff, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're actually a professional diver, and I have misstated that, I apologize. But there was, from what I understood, that it required some specialized equipment to be able to make a dive that deep. It was not something that your snorkeler or your run-of-the-mill
Absolutely.
recreational scuba diver could go do.
Right. That's fascinating.
So-
Yes. Well, it'll be interesting to see when it goes. Like you said, it was supposed to have gone out about a month ago, and they say, I hear that it might be going out in the next few weeks.
Right.
But we'll see.
So I think that this will likely air after the point that I'm talking about here, but just in case, we were talking about this beforehand, you'll probably want to know this. They're doing 2 cruises on the 10th.
April 10th.
April 10th.
Okay.
John Sledge is going to be the one who is the guide on that.
Oh, fabulous.
That they're going to take it, and it's farewell to the SS United States. They're leaving Blakely Park, going across. It's an hour tour back and forth. So,
I'm going to have to check that out for
Okay.
sure today.
so you're welcome.
I need to get on it. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Well, so at last I get to share my
Yes.
family's, mom and dad, our beautiful love story
Yes.
and the love of this island. I think all of our feet in our family, we feel grounded on this island.
Uh-huh.
Our roots. I used to tell my grandmother when I moved away, I said, Grandma, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Little did I know it would be, 55 years later or, yeah.
Well, you came back every year, though.
Yes. Oh, we came back every summer. Yes. But I was actually telling her I'm moving back.
Well, here you are.
And it wasn't until, high school, met my boyfriend, and then got my career, and then realized I'll never be living back in Alabama again. And then timing, and here I am. Yeah.
Thank you, Jill. The
Thank
order.
you, Jill.
Yeah, the
baby sister.
Yeah, the ordered.
Yes.
You know, we put in an order for our sister.
Exactly. So yes, thank you, Jill. She's now the director of the community center too.
No kidding.
Yes. Yes.
That is good to know.
Yes.
That is good to know.
Yes.
Okay, so you've shared a lot of your pictures. You've got the pictures here, and for everyone, she has several of those pictures. She mentioned earlier the color coded, all the different color coded reunions, and she has pictures of several of those. And you know, there's just a lot of stuff here. I'm going to take pictures of this, and then when you come down. And I say when, because probably a lot of you, when you hear this, if you're not already here, you're going to want to come down.
Yeah.
Go to the Welcome Center, and you just might meet Shari there, because she is a docent there. And we mentioned Miss Anita Phillips. She is there a couple of days a week. I mean, and by the way,
Miss Connie.
Yes, and Miss Connie Roan, who I've also interviewed, she was a teacher at the Little Red Schoolhouse. But going back to Miss Anita, when you come on the island, they call them the birdhouses. The little colored, they're little like condos that they're like 3 stories tall.
Yes.
They look like birdhouses.
Yes.
They're bigger inside than they look. Those were designed by her husband. That is part of, and they're different colors. They're very much a landmark on the island.
Absolutely.
They're as much
photographed so much.
Yeah, they are as much a landmark now, maybe more so
as the water tower.
As the water tower.
You're exactly right. And I'm thankful. I get to look out my balcony and see the birdhouses.
Right. Yeah, because you live over not too far from Captain Snapper's, don't you?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Yes, I do. But you're right; those are iconic. I heard a gentleman the other day in the Welcome Center. He said, "Well, me and my family, we started calling them the Monopoly houses."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "That's so cute." Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but they are the birdhouses.
So yeah, those are landmarks. I mean, there are a number of things that are landmarks on the island that you know, just iconic. They are among those, the water tower, the Little Red Schoolhouse, the fort. I mean, there's just things like that that I think are really, and there's one house that, and of course it in of itself isn't iconic, but they always have a skeleton outside of it that's decorated for going down Bienville.
Those are some friends of mine.
Yeah,
yes,
they always have
and they dress it. For each season,
right? and so every time that I'm down here, my wife wants to know what's the skeleton dressed as this time.
Yes.
So,
and it's tall. How many feet?
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, it's like huge.
Yeah, it's like 10 feet tall or something. It's I mean, so yeah. It looks for you Bible students. It looks like one of the Nephilim skeletons.
Yes, yes.
So,
right.
So yeah, it's enormous, and of course those are around everywhere now, because I've seen them just around home in Manchester. People have gotten them. They've got them in Cabot, where my in-laws live in Arkansas. I've seen them a lot. But that's the only one I remember seeing on the island. So it is iconic here, and you know, you've got ton of history that we're going to be exploring. I mean, you should already, by the time you're hearing this, you've already encountered a few episodes of Dauphin Island Diaries. We're going to keep exploring that stuff, and the good news is, you know, I keep getting introduced to people through people like Shari, who are introducing me to additional stories. So I thought about this having probably like a 3-year runway. It may be longer than that if we.
Oh, I definitely think it will be.
Okay.
Actually.
Well, I mean,
yes.
I'm going to let it take me where it goes.
Absolutely.
So
you'll just keep meeting people with
right.
other stories and businesses, and yes.
And the thing too is, you know, I'm looking at this as being an opportunity to tell the story of the Gulf and the Mobile Bay from the Dauphin Island perspective. I mean, it's you know, there's a lot to tell here, and you know, just the street names alone.
Exactly.
I mean,
You could take each street and tell a story
I
about.
plan to.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Now I could learn from that.
Yeah.
From you teaching that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of history, but nothing like all the
Well,
path.
I mean, there are. You've got Fort Mims, Fort Conte. You've got Admiral Sims, of course, and you for a lot of people don't. They may know the story of the blockade running, and they may know the story of Admiral Sims and the CSS Alabama. What they don't realize is how integral Dauphin Island was to that story, because
Yes.
Fort Gaines and Fort Morgan across the bay kept that route open. That was how the blockade was not able to be enforced in this area, and it was the reason for the Battle of Mobile Bay.
Exactly.
That was when the Union was finally closing the gap in their blockade, and we're going to complete the starvation of the South in the Civil War. That's really what it was about.
Yeah.
So
Great history.
yeah,
It's amazing.
there's a lot to it, and so it's a lot of fun getting into it.
Well, I am happy you're here. I'm very glad I was at considered the day you came in.
I am too.
Yes, and I want to thank you because you've helped encourage me to write.
Well, good.
Yes.
Good. Well, is there anything before we? I think we're kind of.
we're good,
I think we're about to wrap things up here. I just wanted to give you the mic one more time. If there's anything you wanted if there was any other story that you could think of that you wanted to share, or
I think I've said most of them, but I mean, they're a bunch in my head still, but they'll be in the book.
okay, and we've actually been at it now for 2 hours, so.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you all for listening. If you've come this far,
Right. If you've made it this
Yes.
far, you
you just had a novel.
Yeah, thank you for joining it, and
Yes.
so we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Sherry, for your time and
thank you,
all the
John.
stuff
Yes.
that you've shared with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
So thank you, and thank you for listening. And we'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
If you enjoyed this episode, there's more where this came from. Over on Patreon, you'll find our full catalog, plus you can get early access to episodes, ad-free listening, and bonus content that goes beyond what's included here. Signing up for a paid subscription to Patreon is the best way to support the show and to get more out of it at the same time. That's patreon.com/Summers Media Enterprises. And thanks for listening.